I thought I'd make a video about how I built this tennis court, pickleball, and basketball combination court. When I first started, it was like hard to find all the information I needed, and so I thought I'd put this together to help somebody else that was thinking about doing it. Of course, you have to get a contractor to pour the concrete for you. This court, 56 feet wide, 114 feet long, and 4 inches thick of concrete. And they use something called 11 gauge rebar mats. That's what they use for the steel in the concrete to hold it together to keep big cracks from occurring. I got a price from the local contractor. We're in central Louisiana here, kind of in the country, but the groundwork and the cement total cost was $37,473. The local contractor, he lives right down the lake there from me. They did all the dirt work. There's a slight hill. They, got their tractors and leveled it out, and hauled in some what we call pit run as a foundation, and they did all that. Then, of course, when they did the concrete work, they had to get a whole concrete crew in here to level it all out and all that. But I got the video will show how all that's done. So an official tennis court is 61 feet 6 inches wide and 121 feet 6 inches long. And this one's 56 feet wide, and it is 114 feet long. So you can see it's plenty wide enough, and it's plenty long enough. You just save a little money. I researched, private tennis courts, how small they could be and how big a regulation was, and it kind of went halfway in between. So I came up with those dimensions, and I'm happy with myself. I think it'll work out fine. Now, the cost of the fence, I got a price from a fence contractor for a 10-foot wood fence. It would have been $8,750. I built a 8-foot 3-inch fence, and I paid for the materials about $2,700. So there's that. A wire fence would have cost, chain link fence would have cost $9,435 plus a bunch of shipping charges from Jackson, Mississippi. And also we got another contractor that said $12,000 for a chain link fence. Not all the way around, just like what I got there. So I saved a ton of money by doing all that work myself. And then, I painted the lines myself, which was a ton of work, but they came out really good. So they started digging out the new tennis court, and they started leveling off the hill. Got a big mountain of dirt there, and started building up the lower part of it. This is just one day's work. So this is the rebar. You can see how big it is. So it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since we got the dirt work done and put the plastic down and the metal wire rebar stuff on top of it. But we keep having storms every weekend. This last weekend was a dilly. It tore up all the plastic, rolled up all the wire rebar things, which I'm thinking is a blessing, because even though we had a week of sunny weather at a time, it never could dry out because the plastic was on top of it. So now I figure it can dry out and we'll be able to pour the concrete. So I'm gonna see if I can gather up the metal and the plastic all by myself. That looks like a tornado to me. So after a tremendous amount of work, I was able to move the metal and the plastic. So untangle all the metal and the plastic. And we got 3/4 of it bare now, so it should dry out. Enough for the cement truck to drive in there eventually. Okay, so we put the 23.5-inch metal sleeve in the court, cemented it in, put some sand at the bottom of it, left it so it'll be level with the cement when we pour it. That way people won't trip on it. And we got the center post for the net tie down. It's not that long, but we cemented it in there. And the cement will come to the top of that, so we won't trip on it when we're playing basketball. And then we got the other side over here, and we measured it very carefully, so it's right in the center of the court, and all is good. So they've put the plastic back down, put the 11 gauge rebar mats back on, and tomorrow we'll be pouring cement. I'm excited. Okay, the first cement going on the court. So exciting. Oh, they set little rebars out so they would know how high to pour the cement everywhere. I like that. All right, we've got it going on now. We got 3 trucks here at the same time. So they weren't able to back onto the wire down there because the ground was too soft. So they had to get an extension deal so they could reach the middle better. That's what that is. Kind of a poor man's pump truck. So it's only 9:50 in the morning now, and it looks like it's almost done. They ran out of concrete, need to get a little bit more. Okay, so it does look a little rough when they run that machine over it, but then they took a light broom to it, and I think that's how it's supposed to be, a light broom, just so it won't be slippery if it's damp and you're running it. Okay, it's 4 o'clock. It's all finished. I like it. Sometimes if you're not careful, it'll bury itself. You can't pull it out. You got to dig it out. So I thought I'd show you how this post works. I got this from Edwards Sports. Remember, there's a sleeve that goes down 2.5 feet down into the ground here. It's cemented in. We did that before. And we made it flush with the top of the cement. And then this pole just slides right in there and it goes down to the proper depth. The basketball goals have arrived. So this is the hole for the basketball goal post. I think I got a little carried away. Parts of it are 36 inches deep. It was only supposed to be 16 inches in diameter according to one set of directions. But it's a big hole. So I assembled the plate that goes down into the cement for the basketball goal, and that's what it looks like. The plate will sit on top of the cement. So I made a 16-inch frame that would be for the top part of the concrete. So this is the finished base for the basketball goal. I took the form off. I made about 2x4s. I guess I don't like the way the front bolts are close to the edge, but they do go down deep and the plate ties them all together. Okay, so this is the second basketball goal. I wore myself out on that first one, making it about 35 inches deep. But see, it's rectangular. It's not just a circle like in the directions. I guess I did it that way because I knew I had to put this frame on the top. But anyway, I'm only going to make, this one's only 26 inches deep. And I'm just going to mix the cement up in the hole as I go. It's going to be a lot easier. Okay, so I hammered those rebars in. Hopefully they won't be in the way of the legs of this square thing here. Okay, I got it all in there. It's fairly level, but the main thing is that these two front bolts are parallel to the court. Okay, I've been working on the fence. I've got the holes drilled. I'm going to have a fence go 16 feet up each side of the court. I'm putting the holes, 8 feet apart. I'm using 12-foot 4x4s treated for the posts. I put them 2 feet into the ground, about 1 to 2 80-pound bags of cement in the hole. I just mixed it up in the hole as I set the post. It all worked out well because my slab is 56 feet wide, and so it worked out evenly for 8 feet between the posts. And you see the basketball goal is in the middle here. I'm not sure how the fence is going to go in front of the basketball goal exactly, because it's an adjustable goal. Of course, the posts are set vertically, but there is a 6-inch drop on the court. From this side is 6 inches higher than that side of the court. I've got 1-inch blocks cut. I'm going to leave a 1-inch gap between the boards and between the bottom of the court. And I'm using 1x6s, true 1-inch by 6-inch deck boards. So I started putting the boards up. I just put 1-inch blocks between them to make sure they're 1 inch apart, and I don't worry about the angle anymore. I just cut them off straight. It'll all work out. So I'm building the fence. This is how I keep the spacing the same. I use those 1-inch blocks. I'll put them in 3 places there, and then I just screw the board up, and I'm able to do it by myself. On the higher ones, I gotta kind of use a little ladder. So I've been working on the fence on the ends of the tennis court, and I thought I would show you. I just do it by myself. I'm using these 5/4 by 6-inch boards, the deck boards. And usually what I do is I just put up one of these 1-inch blocks at each of the posts. There's 8 feet between these 4x4 posts. And I'm able to hold it up there and screw it in with my deck screws. But once it gets so high, then it's really hard to do. But I invented a way to do it. I just put some longer screws in, and then I set the board on them. So I've got these 4-inch screws here, and what I'll do is I just take one of these blocks, these 1-inch blocks, figure out where I need the screw, I can slide the board up on these screws, and then that'll hold the board so it won't keep falling off and hurting me and being hard to do. And then I screw. I just put it up on one end, and then I can screw the other end. These boards are pretty heavy. They're treated and wet. I'm going to put it up on this nail on this side and one in the middle. Oops, I gotta get it lined up there. There we go. Put a screw in here. So this is the last 2 holes on the fence project. I had to dig it out more, so I wanted it right close to the slab. But that's 2 feet deep, which doesn't seem real deep to me. But I will put in like 120 pounds of cement, not counting the water. I'm going to show you how I do that. You need to, have a post hole digger, of course, whenever you're building a fence. Okay, so we got a 12-foot 4x4 here. It's going to be 2 feet in the ground. I've got 2 feet marked on here. I measured the hole, it was 2 feet deep. And I've got the center mark on the slab here where I want the hole. It's all matching up good. I'm making sure that it's right next to the slab and I can get it level. Vertical, I mean. It is. So then I'm just gonna put in some dry cement. just going to keep doing this until I get enough dry cement to hold the pole up vertical, and then I'll recheck it. Then I'm going to add some water. Okay, I've got enough dry cement in there now to hold the pole up. I checked, made sure it was vertical, both directions. You save a lot of problems if you keep everything vertical. I'm going to add some water to the dry cement. You know, this is the way I do it. It's so much easier than trying to mix the cement up in the wheelbarrow. And it works. It's proven. It's proven that it works. I've talked to all kinds of ranchers and even the ag department teacher at the school, and we know that this actually does work. And you don't really have to stir it up, but since I only have 2 feet of cement holding up this post, I'm taking a little more precautions than usual. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm not actually mixing up the cement too much. I'm just mostly tamping it down, make sure it's all around the post. It's settling down a lot more when I do this. A lot of people don't do this. It's not really necessary, but since I'm taking a shortcut, I don't want my fence to blow over. Anyway, we've had some big winds and hadn't blown over yet. It's going to get more solid as the ground settles. Adding some more cement. The main thing is just make sure you keep it vertical as you do this. I'm going to add some more water. So everything's vertical. I got there's quite a bit of water in the hole. It's about 1 foot below the surface. So what I do now is I just kind of sprinkle in this cement around the post so it can get wet. You know, the cement will just draw moisture out of the ground. It'll get hard no matter what, but I don't want it to get enough water. And the post is a treated post, so it's got a lot of water in it. The cement will actually stick to the post. Okay, so now it's about time to tap it in some more and check the vertical. See this bag of cement right here? It's been sitting there for 9 months. It is one solid block. You can only use it for a step or somewhere. I'm gonna put it down by the lake, by my tree house. So the fence is finished. I love it. It really breaks the north wind and the south wind. It's held up several windstorms already. I don't know why people don't build their tennis fences like this. I'm gonna paint it, but I really like it. The fence is 8 feet 2 inches tall, so there's almost 2 feet post sticking up there in case I want to add lights or another board later or whatever. So I've got some masking tape, Duck brand, general purpose. I want to see how this works. You know, they have tape machines that'll lay two tapes down 2 inches apart. But those things are like $800, and I can't find a place to rent them in central Louisiana here, so we'll just see what we can do by hand. So I ran a chalk line 13 feet 6 inches towards the goalpost each direction, made a mark. Then I put the bucket on the end of the tape and went out that way 47 feet 5 1/4 inches from the mark there and made an arc. And now I'm going to measure down the line to find out where that line is. So there's my arch. Now I'm going to measure 39 feet from that bucket over there, and that should be where the outside of the singles line corner is. So that's it right there. I'm glad they didn't make the cut right on the line. So I'll be checking more measurements, but I think that's it. Okay, since I already had the bucket over there, I went ahead and did the next side, 47 feet 5 1/4 inches, and made my arch. See, I'm using that bucket 3/4 of the way full of water, you know, because I don't have any friends and I got to do everything by myself. Okay, so I went ahead and marked my other singles line, outer edge, 39 feet from the center over there where the bucket is. And I'm going to check the distance between them now. Okay, this line right here is supposed to be 27 feet to the outside of the singles line. And it turned out to be 27 feet 1/2 inch. That's amazing. It's pretty close. And you know, I can use that extra 1/2 inch to get my backhand in. I guess you may have noticed there's a puddle in the court. That's the only one, which I guess is not too bad. Just need to take a brush and sweep it out and it'll dry out in no time. I had trouble seeing the chalk line on this end, so I just got another bucket and put a red string down there. Well, this isn't going too bad. I might get done by Christmas. I'm a little concerned though. The buzzards are circling. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I think that'll be okay. All we gotta do now is paint that line. So this is the kind of paint that I'm using. It's for marking concrete parking lots and all that. So hopefully it'll work good. So there's my first line. I used a 2-inch brush and just brushed it on, sitting down there by it. It wasn't bad. It went on really smooth, and painting on the concrete is really easy. It just kind of soaks in a little bit. And I don't think it's going to run under the masking tape, which is one of my great fears, since I was just putting it on with the brush, stroking with the tape. I'm going to wait about an hour and a half. It's kind of cool today. It's like 61 degrees, 63 degrees. So I'll pull it up in maybe about an hour and a half. So this is my second line. Always remember that your measurements are to the outside of the line. So I got the string for the inside of the line. I'm just going to lay another thing of masking tape. It's going good. Okay, the service line. The outside of it is 21 feet from the center line. I'm thinking about making the service line a foot longer so I can get my serves in. So the center line will be 13 feet 5 inches to the outside of the center line. It's going to line up with the center of the court there. But I was surprised. I measured 13.5 from the right side, then I went 2 inches, and behold, it was also 13.5 to the other line. So, man, I love it when a plan comes together. All right, look at those last 2 lines, that one and that one. Man, they are sharp. I waited an hour and 30 minutes, and then when I pulled the tape up, I pulled it out and up away from the line, and that way it didn't break the paint in the wrong way. Well, look at all my progress. The goal is up, the fence is done, the single lines are done for this half of the court, and of course the fence and the goal over here on this half. So I've got the string stretched between the 2 buckets. Some animals came last night and stole my red string. I don't understand it because 30 feet of it was just dangling loose. But anyway, I can't find it, so I used the white string from the chalk line. And this is how I'm using this masking tape. It goes on really easy. I was surprised it would be this easy, you know. I can pull it out and push it down by the string. So yesterday, I was able to finish all the single lines on half of the court. And I think they came out wonderfully. Look at that line, so straight and crisp. I'll go a little faster once I get the paint in the brush. So I wanted to kind of show you how this pulls up. This tape, kind of pull it out like this, and it's making a crisp line. I like it. It pulls up easy. All right, I wanted to show you how easy it is to put down this masking tape. I have my string taunt here between the 2 heavy buckets, and I just pull it out like this, follow the string, lay it out. It's really not that bad, and I don't have to buy an $800 tape laying machine. So I'm working on the doubles lines now. The doubles lines are 4 feet 6 inches from the outer edges from the singles lines. Double court is quite a bit larger than single court. When I got done, I had a big ball of masking tape. So I also used this masking tape here. It was more expensive, but it did the job also. So I've noticed the sharpness of the line has a lot to do with how you pull the tape up. This is how you have to pull the tape up, so it cuts the paint like that. And I got to be careful when I start over there. See, that's looking pretty good for an amateur. Look at that. Okay, so I'm finished with the tennis court. There's the fence, there's the goal adjusted to low. Here's the basketball lines, there's the tennis baseline. There, blue over there is the pickleball lines. The kitchen, you know, blue is the handicap color. You know, tennis players sometimes think that pickleball players are handicapped. That's a little joke. Don't get mad at me. Over there on the FR side, we got the high goal. They're adjustable anyway. And we got lines for it. And I'm really happy the way the lines came out. They're crisp, sharp. I like them. It's a lot of work.